regional rivalries. Giants-Dodgers.
High drive! Left field! It is out of here!
Cal-Stanford.
Here's Love with room. Bryce Love takes off. Touchdown, Stanford!
Well, in a pocket of San Anselmo, the Sleepy Hollow Sea Lions hosted the Strawberry Seals, the last dual meet of the season. 2 unbeatens, 2 great coaches, 1 Marin Swim League regular season title on the line.
I believe if we come together today as a team, fueled by our friendships, fueled by our desire to do the best we can for our team, for our friends, then anything is possible.
The stronger the challenge, the better the response. Welcome to the Strawberry Seals.
Marin Swim League regular season champions. Hello, everybody. In the deep end with Coach Mehrad. Not just Coach Mehrad. I'm going to call you Coach of the Year. I mean, come on. 7-0. You ran the table. I mean, think about it, folks. You went to Sleepy Hollow. You went to their house. You went to Yankee Stadium. You went to Foxborough, Massachusetts. You went to the Patriots, and you beat them in their house, and won the regular season title because of it. I mean, how does that hit you when I say it?
I'm really proud of the kids for their, they worked really hard this year. Mm-hmm. It's the tightest group of kids I've ever seen on this team, and there's been a lot of tight groups that have come through here. Strawberry community tends to breed that, a lot of closeness between the kids. But this group of kids is, they're particularly bonded, and they were stepping up for each other, motivating each other, cheering for each other, and it had a really positive feeling. And it couldn't have been with a better team, because the Sea Lions, for them, they're really fast swimmers. I mean, that goes without saying, but they have a way of just keeping things in perspective all the time. And after the meet, there was it didn't feel like there was any sour feelings. It honestly almost felt like they were happy for us, which was great. Considering that
well, they've been there and done that so many
times. Yeah, and that just shows a really classy competitor, really classy team, that they can take joy in another team having a fun time at their pool, even if it involves them losing a meet. And just really special group of people over there. And they didn't have their full boat yet. So I look forward to next year. I hope there's no scheduling conflicts with any other sports, and that we get to see their full squad, because I think in the dual meet format, I think we can we can stand toe to toe now, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because for those of you that don't know, and I know that you know that at that particular meet, I mean, that Sleepy Hollow, I mean, they're a swim team and they are a major water polo team, and a lot of their kids were out. They were at a water polo match. Had those kids participated in the meet, maybe we might be talking about a different outcome. Yeah. But here's the thing.
It would have been very close.
We'll never know. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been very close, regardless. But that's what we want. So, so I look forward to next year. I think we have kind of a fun matchup set up, and I hope it lasts for many years into the future. That this isn't just a one-off, but that our kids can bring it every year when we swim Sleepy Hollow, because they're the best.
We don't spend too much time talking about it, but I really wanted to recognize the high schoolers that showed up at the meet on Saturday. I thought they were just a huge difference that they, because you know it is in high school, they got a lot going on. But for them to step up, Noah Erickson, Nick Owenson, Talia Firmage, it just go, Maya, Reidinger really stepped up, and Abby Mole in the breaststroke. I mean, they all had major roles in that victory.
It was particularly sweet because you go a few years back, we didn't have a lot of presence of high school kids on the team. You know, Coach Brittany has really been the driving force in getting our high school kids out. And, you know, they love her, so they show up for the Seals. But they're really, you know, I believe a lot of them are showing up for her too. And that's made a huge difference.
Going over the heat sheets and stuff like that, looking at who we could be and where we should be and what like heats and lanes, writing them down on our hands.
Yeah, but you could drive yourself crazy over that. I mean,
yeah.
The bottom line, you got to show up, you got to swim.
Yeah, you just got to try your hardest and give it your all, or else like there's no point.
Every point counted. Every point counted. And I thought maybe as you kind of take a look at it and kind of maybe dissect the meet a little bit, in my opinion, I thought the first turning point of the meet was when Amanda Mosey went out and won the 9-10 back. In fact, I grabbed you and went, man, this is huge, because she was not a favorite in that heat.
Yeah, she likes to race. That's the theme this season. You know, a lot of what we've been talking about with the kids is when you go to a meet, you know, that's our game. So, you know, you go and you race and just swim your heart out and, you know, use the technique you learn in practice, and you know, like a lot of things become possible. And a lot of these kids are actually faster than they know, and you know, it takes a big meet and just a little bit of stress, you know, in a positive way to bring out the best in them. And Amanda does really well in those kind of racing situations where she knows that she's, you know, racing someone faster than her. Some kids, you know, when that happens, they don't always rise to that challenge because they don't have that belief that they can go out and just race and, you know, and go for it. And I don't think she puts a lot of barriers in her way. She's the kind of kid, when the buzzer goes off, she just goes for it.
People were kind of nervous / excited because they wanted to win, but then it was like they're a really good team, Sleepy Hollow. So
Did you think that if you guys performed at your very best, you had a shot at this?
yes, because we beat them last year, but then the year before they beat us. So it was like
friendly rivalry. A lot of this is matchups.
Yeah.
And I credit you and your coaching staff for coming up with the idea of switching out Coco Quill and Maeve McCauley in two particular events, the breast and I believe the back. And the gamble worked out.
I would love to take credit for that, but that was actually Coco's idea.
Really?
Yeah, she, you know, Coco likes to race, and she saw it. She looked at the league standings, and she saw there was someone with a faster time in breaststroke. So she came into me at practice and said, you know, there's a faster girl in Sleepy Hollow. I said, okay. She said, I want to race her. I said, okay. So that's what she did. And, you know, it was a little bit of a risk because there was a safer move to leave her in the backstroke, considering how fast she's in that event. But it also gave Maeve the opportunity to, you know, go out and try to win that for the team. And she had a big swim, dropped the second in the race, and, you know, managed to pull off a little bit of an upset.
There's this very fast breaststroker, and then I was a little bit slower, like a couple tenths slower, and then I swam it because there wasn't as many breaststrokers in this meet, so I had to swim that, and then Maeve swam the back and fly, and I did freestyle breaststroke and IM.
Yeah, well, what a gamble. It paid off, right?
Yeah.
I had my friends come up and tell me, it's okay, we're a team and you can do it. And that really encouraged me to do my best, and I actually did it.
I think at the start of the meet, you could see the team was like almost a little bit nervous. You know, kids were running in lane lines.
But it's good to be nervous, though.
Yeah. So it took a little bit to settle down after the relays. I think kids started getting into a rhythm. And then as the day progressed, I think the heat really settled everyone down. And I thought they just got better and better as we went along.
Yeah, it sure did. It sure did. Hey, we're going to take a break. Later on in the show, a special tribute to the longest tenured SEAL, Christine Watridge. You don't want to miss that special, special moment. All that just ahead. Within the Deep End with Coach Mehrad continues. Like the Beatles song says, help, I need somebody, not just anybody. Strawberry Seals need you to volunteer. You know why? They're hosting Champs on Saturday. Go to strawberryseals.com, log on to register and volunteer. Back with more in the Deep End, and this is all about the Sleepy Hollow meet, at least for now. And I wanted to talk about a guy that we really haven't touched much on, and that is Riggs Schumann, who went out and he won the 25 breast. It was a really close race. There were a few close races.
You know, anytime you can score in a breaststroke event against the Sea Lions, you're doing good.
Right.
Riggins, you know, also known as the Big Rig.
The Big Rig.
That's
Love
one
it.
of his nicknames.
Fits the profile though, because he's got a little buzz cut.
Yeah. He's like a really happy-go-lucky guy. He's such a great teammate. You know, a friend to so many kids on the team. So anytime you see a really good-natured, nice kid go out there and get a big win, it feels good just because the kid's gonna feel good.
I think it's a big privilege to be on this team, and I was just super stoked to come here. When I came here, it was already like 70 degrees, and I was like, this is gonna be a perfect day, and it was. I got 2 best times.
So let's get to a couple of pool records that occurred just out of nowhere. The again, it's the 11-12s. Freestyle relay, of course, Gatner, Quill, Ariampo are all a part of it, but Eva Raitt, a part of the fearsome foursome this time, and it was nice to see her jump in. I know she was a little nervous, but how about a little something on Miss Raitt?
She's been working really hard lately. She's very focused on getting better. She's been coming in for a lot of extra kind of work, tuning her stroke, asking a lot of questions, taking care of all those little details that really matter in a sprint, down to how you engage your legs and your glutes on the dive, how many underwater kicks you're doing to your breakout, how many breaths you're going to take on each lap. She's been very good about rehearsing these kind of tactical elements of the race that influence the outcomes, and I think as a result, she was able to swim herself onto that relay.
It feels special to be like a part of something so great. Like I normally get best times for my split because of the confidence level that everyone's giving to me. Like just the vibe of everyone is just really nice.
Wow. Well, the other pool record, of course, was with Maury Gatner, who just went in and said, hey, it's funny. When you talk to Maury, he knows what the record is, and he knows that he could be close. So he goes out in the IM, and darn it, as soon as he touched the wall, I turned to the starter because that's where I was shooting from, and I said, hey, man, I think that's a pool record. And then went down the line, down the table, all the way down to the Colorado, and they were like, well, if it's clean, then yeah, I guess it's official. And then finally, 5 minutes later, it's official.
Yeah, it was a great swim, and I think the thing that made the day really fun for Mare is that the record he broke was owned before by Paul Birich, who is Mark Anderson's assistant.
Right.
Huge part of that program's success. Paul is, he was an amazing swimmer, but his coaching skills are, off the charts. The guy is just awesome, and the kids love him too because while he teaches them to swim fast, he's also really gentle and more concerned with the kids' well-being than anything else. So to be there at the meet and to be able to meet Paul after he broke his record, and Paul, Paul made it a really fun event. I think was something really special. It's not every day that a kid gets to meet the person who held the record before them, especially someone as like high character as Paul.
Oh, I was like jittery the whole night. I was just like, I was nervous.
Yeah, well, why not? I mean, you had a chance to knock these guys off.
Yeah.
And then the relays come next, and then another freestyle relay.
Yeah, and that record, I was just surprised. I didn't really expect to get that record that much because we're all hyped at All-Stars, but I guess this was just bigger and more nerve-wracking, and we all tried to just give it our all, and we got it.
How about the rest of your 11-12 teammates? I mean, you guys have just shown up and just taken care of business all year long.
Yeah, I think that the 11-12s, we love cheering for others, and we love just getting out there and doing our best and trying to get the best time we can.
Champs next, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's my first year, and I'm just really nervous and excited for it.
Yeah, that was just terrific. And then Mehrad, I saw something on Saturday I had never seen before. In fact, I was so blown away, I put it on KPIX5.
Hey, and Jules, 10-year-old Nolan Anderson here won the day. 2 broken wrists, 2 casts, and he swam anyway for his summer league team, the Sleepy Hollow Sea Lions. He won 2 of 3 races, and the one he didn't win barely got out-touched. Look at him.
Wow.
Yeah, just amazing. Now, Sleepy Hollow did lose to the Marin Swim League regular season champion, Strawberry Seals, but
That's incredible.
Nolan Anderson, the son of the head coach Mark Anderson, won the day.
Absolutely.
Oh, in spades he won the day.
That really, I mean, that was really something. Mark Anderson's son.
Well, the Anderson family, they're gritty people.
He wanted to swim that badly.
You can see a reflection of his upbringing, and his toughness, I think, comes from just a lot of hard work. Like kids don't end up like that by accident. They grow that kind of confidence and grit, and it usually comes from the home a lot of times too. So I think Nolan is kind of an exemplar of like what Sleepy Hollow is about. Like he's a super nice kid, but gritty and tough as well.
Well, we got more to come right here on In the Deep End. Ahead, more shout-outs, and later on, it's a special tribute to our lone graduating senior, Christine Watridge. Moving on after 11 years. Hey, Strawberry Seals freestylers, what if you could bring it like Jason Lezak?
Lezak is closing a little bit on Bernard. Can the veteran chase him down and pull off a shocker here? Well, there's no doubt that he's tightening up. Bernard is losing some ground. Here comes Lezak. Unbelievable at the end. He's done it. The U.S. has done it.
Well, you can get up close and learn from the 4-time Olympic gold medalist June 27th. Details on strawberryseals.com. Back with more In the Deep End. This is the shout-outs. These are the people that went to Sleepy Hollow and just got these wins a lot of times on just pure guts. And I'm thinking of Claire Cochran right off the bat, a couple of wins, and they weren't easy wins as well.
Yeah, it was every race, Sleepy Hollow had somebody strong, usually 5 or 6 strong swimmers, to challenge our swimmers. So she showed up, she raced hard, and I think she had a fantastic day.
Tai Fong, I mean, he just gets on the blocks and just cuts it loose. He had a fine afternoon.
Yeah, well, was it Ty said in your interview with him? Go big or
go
go home.
Or go home.
That's his motto.
Mantra.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he really, he lives by it. He every moment, like Ty never is half-hearted about anything, and I think that's why he's been improving so rapidly.
Let's segue from Tai Fong to Ellie Hong, 8 and under, breast and fly. That's another one that just got out a couple of wins.
Yeah, Ellie has been working hard for several years and just building her skills up. She swims well because she's been very active about learning to swim correctly. She's a very focused swimmer in practice, and she's got great technique. So I think she's a great demonstration of how really technique is the most important element in swimming.
Gritty competitor, and I have inside knowledge that she was really nervous coming in, and that's Margot Davis, who showed up and got a couple of wins.
Yeah, Margot had a great meet. I think, times aside, she performed very well. But what was really great as a coach to see is she calmed down a little bit more before races, and I think it's something important to share, because for a lot of swimmers this can be a useful lesson as well. Is that you want to be fired up for a race, but you also need to have some part of yourself reserved to be calm, so you can approach it mentally properly, and do all the technical elements you're working on. So Margot was very focused this race on improving her breath pattern and her head position in the race, and very focused in on those elements. So before the race, she went through some breathing exercises to calm herself down, and I think unwinding a little bit really helped her. So for those other swimmers who have that kind of tiger inside, get really fired up for the race, it's important also to know that that kind of calm focus will contribute to fast swimming. And I think she had that experience, and it was a really big growth experience for her on Saturday. I was just, as a coach, it pleased me, it made me really happy to see her being able to kind of take that big step on the mental side of swimming.
I lived in Connecticut last year, and I wasn't that good of a swimmer, and I'm really surprised how much has changed since then. So.
What changed? Why?
Well, on the field I practiced a lot more, put a lot more commitment into my swimming, and I think that's just what happened.
We talked about how tough Sleepy Hollow is in the breaststroke.
Yeah.
Okay, so along comes Dexter Watridge in the 13-14 breast. To me, that was a surprise win, given where it was and the kind of talent he was going up against. Another guy that we really haven't spent much time talking about through the course of this series.
Yeah, Dexter works hard every day. Every day he's at practice, he gives it his best. He's asking questions all the time. In fact, he's here right now early because he wanted to work on his technique. So, when we're done, I'll be working with Dexter.
Great.
And I think that willingness to sacrifice your time for the sport makes a difference. There's no substitute for good practice. And Dexter's an example of that he has been very conscious about, coming and doing his best and putting in extra time when he needs to in order to keep developing his skills. And as a result, every age group, he's become a faster, more competitive swimmer.
Declan Murphy, fella's been battling pneumonia. Shows up, sick as a dog, and he guts out. He was barely out-touched for another win on Saturday.
Yeah, he had a busy day. Yeah, he was, not only did Declan come and swim 2 races and contribute big to the team, he had an all-star baseball game later in the day, which he was pitching in, and had to be prepared for that. And a lot of times, when you got 2 big things going on, it can be pretty tough for a kid to balance both and do well. But he was there to help us, pull off win at the Sleepy Hollow meet, and then went over and helped his baseball team pull off win at his All-Star game. So considering the circumstances and kind of contending with illness, it's pretty amazing that he had the ability to summon the energy to do both of those activities.
All right, we'll be back to wrap things up on In the Deep End, a special tribute to Christine Watridge, saying goodbye after 11 years as a Strawberry Seal. There is always time to become a part of the Strawberry Seals. Under the direction of head coach Mehrad Zarrehparvar, the team welcomes new swimmers at all skill levels. There is a full staff of coaches on hand to teach technique and development, and having fun is all a part of it. Click on strawberryseals.com for more information. Christine Watridge, thanks so much for what you've done in these 11 years as a Strawberry Seal. Every stroke, Christine Watridge gets closer to the end of her Strawberry Seals career, an era that began in 2008.
When I was 8, I got Rookie of the Year.
Go, Christine! Go, Christine! Go, 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 go!
That was kind of a big thing, and like kind of what like pushed me to continue with the Seals, and like how much like just getting that recognition for like the hard work that I'd done for the first year was really, really fun.
Go, Christine!
It's just so funny to watch. I was always like aiming, I remember specifically for that like 18-second freestyle, and I remember like the first time I got that, it was like I was so happy and so proud.
Swimmers, take your mark.
11 years later, she's all grown up. Just completed her last dual meet, a victory over Sleepy Hollow.
It's hard to believe, honestly. Like it's so weird that everything's like graduation just happened and the Seals, these are my last 2 weeks. It's kind of unreal. So the first part is gonna be your breath. So you're gonna do 1 breath, 2 arms down, and then 3 around.
Before leaving for Washington University in St. Louis, Watridge is paying it forward, lending her knowledge to younger SEALs. It's what SEALs do. 2008 Rookie of the Year. Coaches Award in 2010 and 11. I'm glad you brought up the IM. What is it with the power of the IM with the Strawberry Seals? Strong top to bottom. Christine Watridge was huge. 2014 Girls High Point runner-up. 2015 Most Best Times. Wonder what she'll miss most.
Shave downs as a group before champs, just like having pasta and then like just going wild with the shaving cream and having everyone shave their arms, shave their legs, and it's just like, it's so funny, but it's like such a swim team thing, and no one else understands it, but it's kind of like a bond that we all share. So I'll remember that definitely. Sharing like the experiences with my friends and other people in the practice, and like even if when it's a super hard set, which it often is, like we'll all do it together and we'll all talk about it and we'll all like push through together and encourage each other. And I think like that's something I'm gonna miss the most, is all the encouragement and like support that we give each other as teammates. And this also, of course, is during the swim meets when we're all cheering for each other. I think that's a big thing, is like watching other people swim and cheering for your friends and hanging out with your friends is something I'm gonna miss a lot.
All right, Mehrad, so I know that the team banquet is the following day, and I know you like to honor the outgoing seniors, and I just wonder how long she'll get into it before emotions are kind of take over.
And Christine's a really special individual. She's a great swimmer, and one of those kids who, especially as the season winds down, tends to dig deep and find her best swims. And that's really fun to coach when you know a kid shows up and swims their best at championships year after year. But she's just abundantly kind as well. Has this wonderful attitude, always smiling on the deck, willing to do whatever we need her to do at a meet. If it's swim this relay, do this race. Christine never grumbles. She's just always ready to do whatever's necessary to help her team. At the meets, she's one of our lifeguards. So she'll go from lifeguarding, watching the younger kids, giving them the opportunity to get out of the hot sun and be in the water and play around. We'll rush from that over to her race, do a race, go back and lifeguard again.
Cap up and then go back in. Wow.
you know, I think that's kind of Christine's character. Like, she is there to do whatever needs to be done for the team, and it's always done with a smile. Just couldn't have a better attitude and disposition around practice, and that improves the environment for everyone. You know, when you have someone that's that positive on your team, it's infectious, and whenever she's around, like the whole team feels like a more positive place to be.
Well said. So final curtain call for her at Champs on Saturday and for the entire team. A couple of thoughts on your preparation for Champs. I don't know if you taper. I don't know what's the mindset as you try to position yourself to really pull this one off.
Well, so we do taper some of the older kids. We've started that last week, but it's not a very long run up. Being that we're not like a volume heavy team, so there's not a lot of endurance work we have to taper off of. Our younger kids, they tend not to do that. So we're focused towards the end of the year on those fundamental edge skills. You know, the things that you can digest in a short period of time, the things you can polish when you have kind of a compressed time period to learn. So, you know, we're not talking to the kids about a lot of technical stuff at this point. We just want to make sure their dives, their turns are really clean, that they're finishing properly, they're doing the tactical elements in the races they need to do, you know, their race breath, or, you know, depending on what race it is, whatever those tactical elements might be. And just prepare mentally more than anything else for the big meets. So, like the last week, we started in a lot of visualization. We're doing it this week, you know, no more dry land work. There's not gonna be any physiological adaptation that happens at this point in the season. You know, but we can make the kids too tired. So we're really backing off on sprinting and volume, and just focusing in on being prepared mentally to swim well. Basically the work is done. You know, now it's just time to make sure their minds are focused.
All right, well, I can't wait to see it. I know you can't wait to see it. Champs coming up, the Strawberry Seals hosting the event. Can you imagine, Mehrad, if it happened? If you hit, I guess, using the track term, the exacta, winning the regular season and Champs. But you know what? It could happen.
That's what we're trying to do. I mean, we're going in, you know, we're not going in to do anything but do our best. I feel good about this Champs. I know the kids are going to lay it all out there.
Oh, sure.
I know they're going to bring their best. I know we're going to have a lot of great swims. You know, in the end, the points stack up however they stack up. You don't have a lot of control how other teams swim. And, you know, one thing you can say for certain about Sleepy Hollow is they show up for Champs, all of them. And their whole team comes and swims fast. So I believe, you know, we have a shot, but it will take a, you know, Herculean effort from our kids to, you know, to overcome just a great dynasty that Sleepy Hollow has built, that Mark Anderson and Paul have put together over there is just phenomenal. So we're going to do our best, and we're going to give them a good run. And, you know, hopefully we come out on top of that, but if we don't, I know it will be with our best effort.
Well, it's like the movie 300. Just small against legions. You just never know. You just got to show. If you haven't seen that movie, go rent it. 300, great movie. Anyway, so that'll do it for this edition of In the Deep End with Coach Mehrad. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you Saturday at Champs, and we'll see you at the team banquet on Sunday. See you later, everybody. What does it mean to you to be a Strawberry Seal?
Well, my grandfather was a swimmer, and so I really like swimming, and it's just one of my hobbies.
Started with your grandfather and went all the way down to you.
My mom used to be a swimmer in high school, but her mom didn't want to get up for that. So